Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is PoppinCulture Movie Reviews. My guest today is Gayle Murray, very funny comedian from Charlotte, North Carolina. If she's in your city, please go see her. She runs an amazing room in Charlotte called Penthouse, a great venue. She puts on amazing shows. Uh, please support her. Gayle, thank you so much for coming on the movie review.
Thank you for having me, Michael Garrick.
Yes. The movie you chose to review was Congo. This will be a
Mhm.
100% spoiler review. But before we spoil the movie, do you believe they should watch it?
Ironically, watch it ironically. Don't get really drunk or really high and then watch it.
I
Watch
agree
it
with
with friends. Don't watch it alone.
what I agree with Gil. You definitely need something to watch this with. Don't it pairs very well with some kind of it just pairs with alcohol or marijuana. Like if you
Or
watch
like a
this,
whole box of donuts.
okay, get some donuts and Slim Jims and just have a good time. Uh guys, don't watch this movie. Like for real. Like, don't watch. Oh my god. It we're letting you guys know before we continue into spoilers. This movie is bad good. Is is just really
Bad,
bad to the point where it's
bad.
good. Yes.
It's not good though. It has so many elements where it could have been great, and I think it was just the wrong time. It shouldn't have been made in the 90s. If it was a movie made today, it would have been great.
Yes. All right, guys. Everything past this point will be 100% spoilers. Um, my first thing for you is for the year this movie came out. The one thing I would give it, the year this movie came out, this cast, fucking amazing. For,
Incredible
the,
cast.
for
Agreed.
that for that time period, for that the year it came out, this is a very talented, popular cast.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
like, and that's it. That's all the good stuff I got. What you got?
Well, I looked up. I would like to say that the movie Congo was originally a book, which you can sort of tell. There are some, I think it was a good book, even though it's a bad movie. There are remnants of a good story in there, but it fell. It's a good little plot. It's a good little everyone goes to Congo for a different reason and they discover something horrible. That's all pretty cool. It just didn't translate in this script. I would like to mention that Rotten Tomatoes gave it a whopping 22%. IMBD gave it about a 5.2 out of 10. I think that's about what it deserves. Right? It didn't pass, but it was there. um, and I that's also what I was going to bring up is what a great cast it was and how Laura Linney, she was the wife of Truman Burbank. She pretends to fall in love with Jim Carrey. She also pretends to fall in love with Robin Williams when he like tries to become president. Like, so she's a powerhouse like actress, like incredible actress. Then you also have Ernie Hudson, aka the Black Ghostbuster, aka like in the 80s in the movie Ghostbusters. I didn't want to fuck him. In this movie, I was like, yeah, he's pretty hot. As because he's 10 years older. And then he also is in a Netflix show called Grace and Frankie, where he pretends to be in love with Lily Tomlin, and he's like 70 in it. And he's so fucking hot to me. Like he's just like gray and he's like kind of chubby. And like so like I think Ernie Hudson only gets sexier with time. Because like you'd think that as a Ghostbuster, that's what I would find him most attractive. But like as he gets older and like chubbier, that's what I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good looking man.
I just know him from like car insurance commercials now. Like,
Yeah, well he's in Grace and Frankie, and I think he's pretty funny in it. He's ads. I think he's very his comedy is real gentle and real sweet. And that's I think another way he wasn't utilized in this movie. He doesn't do anything funny.
yeah,
Tim Curry's also in this movie. It's probably his
yes,
most forgettable role. He's fucking Frankfurter. Like he's like a gay icon. And how do you make he has such like this interesting face? How do you forget it? I almost forgot he was in this movie. Like
yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
we can't forget about Bruce Campbell.
Yep.
They
Yep.
they gave Bruce Campbell the scream treatment.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna like, cause I'm a fan of Bruce Campbell. Has he been in a lot of good stuff? No, but I'm a fan of him. So when I saw him in the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, they got Bruce Campbell, and then it was like, oh, okay, but that's over.
He's just the
uh,
diamond hunter, right? He's just like, but
yes,
did you get the diamond? That guy?
yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I knew as soon as his friend went into the jungle, he was gonna die. So when they threw the eyeball out, I was just like, yeah, Bruce is about to die too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What did you think about the ape costume?
It's not a costume, it's a puppet. It's the best acting in the whole movie. It conveys more emotion than anyone else in that movie.
Yeah.
Her name's Amy. The character Amy is the only fun levity that she's the most interesting character. I think the scene with the most emotional impact is when she's hanging out and trying to be like with the gorillas, but because she's wearing her little wrist thing that speaks English, they're like, "You're a human. Ugh, you might look gorilla, but you talk human. See you later, like a stupid little gorilla," And then you see her all hurt, and I was like, "Oh, I can really empathize with being." She's going through like I like that what's it called? Clickiness transcends species.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
To backtrack just for a second, uh, did you laugh out loud when the scientists put together the fact that she was drawing a forest and he was like, she wants to go back to the forest? And it was just like, oh, okay, that's what that means. All right.
it's just like no, yeah. I
Like,
don't think.
okay, well, this we got to push the plot along somehow. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much, I thought it was pretty I thought it was a little bit unrealistic. Like I think other aspects of Amy are pretty realistic, like watching her get rejected by the other gorillas. But just an ape who just draws the same thing over and over. I don't know. It's a stretch. It's a human indulgence stretch. And again, if you read that in a novel, you'd be like, whoa, neat. But this sort of dramatic interpretation with puppets,
Yes. You brought up some good dialogue. Did you remember any dialogue where you were like, who wrote this?
yeah, the worst line in the movie is when they explain to the audience what a geode is. Because I'm sure you remember, Laura Linney's like, it's a geode, and then it shows the diamond, and you're like, I get it, that's a diamond. She's like, it's a geode, a giant diamond. And you're like, the audience knew what a geode was. Every person through context clues is going to know what a fucking geode is. It's a giant diamond, like a wedding ring diamond, pretty rock, pressure go shiny. Like stop over explaining it.
Yes. Yeah, I wish I could remember. I should have wrote it. That was my fault for not taking good enough notes. But man, it was some lines and it was some dialogue in this movie. I was like, I don't know who got paid to write this, but I don't blame them for the easy money. Like whatever they
Right.
got paid, hey, I respect the hustle. I hope you never work
Yeah.
again, but like I respect the hustle. That dialogue, I was like, even the actors, I can't even blame the actors. Some of this dialogue, I was like, Tim
There's
Curry can't
nothing you
make
can
this sound
do.
good. Yeah, no one can make this sound good. This isn't how humans talk. Like,
No. They just don't communicate like that. They're communicating the way you'd read it, like,
yes,
but the way it happens isn't like that.
yes. What you think of the pacing?
It sort of tries to be like, it's a little bloated. It tries to be like Indiana Jones, but it's not fun. It's just adventurous, but you're bored.
Yes,
I don't know
yes,
how I'm bored watching someone it was too much, honestly. Like the final act was way too much. Like there's the killer gorillas, and then there's the laser beam. She gets her little diamond laser beam, and she's like, I'm gonna cut the world in half. And then there's an earthquake and lava comes out of the ground. Like there's no, it's too extravagant. Too
yeah,
many things are happening.
yes. It felt like they wanted this movie to be bigger than it should have been. That's why I looked at it. I was just like, this is a lot happening in this short period of time. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um the music. Did you
Music's good.
enjoy? Yes. It's definitely from that time period, like
Yeah.
100%. Like is is there any song that sticks out to you in particular?
Well, no, but I liked that they used songs that were like obviously not English, like they could have been doing like Crack That Whip, but they actually chose songs that were like, like it's set in the Congo, so they used like, I don't want to be like African music because like it's like, oh, Africa is so diverse and interesting, and it is, but like they use music that would have actually more realistically things you would have heard. And they had shots in the Congo of, just the natives hanging out and walking around and like looking at, the parts they don't go to. And I wish they could have invested a little bit more in like background characters and stuff like that. And setting that tone of how different it is for all of these Americans to be in the Congo.
Nice, nice. Um, do you believe that they actually shot this in in Africa, or do you think all this is a soundstage?
It's all staged. I mean, I think that I don't think it's a bad little trick to do shots in the real place and then film on set. I don't think that's too crazy. And I don't
No,
think that was this film's problem either.
no.
Except for when they're in the weird monkey cave. That looks like a theater. Like, when they're in that weird, like the aggressive, I don't know how else to describe it. Like where they're all this sleeping in their little, it's like a hive of evil gorillas.
Yes.
It didn't look good at all.
No. And I just love I just love that plot. Like it was just it's just why are the gorillas evil? Like what like it just
Yeah,
it's just a very
because humans made them evil. Like that's the whole thing.
like
Is they're like, and that's what is the part that makes it seem like it was a good book. It's commentary on how humans messed up the natural balance, and it's like that could have, it could convey that a little better.
yeah. Yeah, when because the tones in this movie kind of shift very quickly and it's just hard to keep up with it. Um Going back to the pacing, is there any scenes that you feel like you if you could go back and edit it, you would delete out the movie?
Yeah, so many. I would delete maybe half this movie. Especially like the first scene where it's Laura Linney talking to what's his name, their boss.
Yeah.
He's like, tell me you're doing this because you're worried about the people. And he's like, I'm worried about the people. Like, it's just so not the way people talk, like you said. And
Yeah.
I would maybe just introduce her in the Congo. And she's just like, you just don't really know why she's there. And then you find out naturally, she's like, I'm looking for a diamond. I'm looking for an ex lover, because she is. And so, like, all of that's there, but it's all squished in the beginning. And then she doesn't talk about it again for all of this. It's just action, action, action. It's just, I'm jumping out of a plane. I'm rolling through a fire. I'm punching a gorilla in the face. Like, and I wanted to see a little bit more why she was doing it, not just a short 5 seconds of her talking about it.
Yes. Uh if you would love to explain the scene where she punches the gorilla.
She never
I
punches a gorilla, like, but I just mean like it's just all action.
I know what you mean funny, but I know what you meant by like it's really for people that haven't seen it, like the action like okay, I put it like this. This movie is very slow. Like it's very slow movie. Like it took me 3 days to watch it in total. So it's very yeah, you're right, very slow. But like I said, when we get to the end, when everything wraps up with the action, uh, did you feel like that made the movie seem like it was going quicker, or did it still feel slow to you at that point?
I think the action, it wasn't the worst. Um, it was a little off balance, but I actually really like the scene where they all have to jump out of a helicopter. Um, like someone tries to blow up their helicopter, they all jump out and they all have to go by foot. I thought that was really neat. Fun little transition. Fun. You get to have fun with your stunt team. Like again, that was appropriate effects for the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
But
definitely, no.
like other stuff, like like when they have to talk to border control, and they're like, we won't let you come through unless you bribe me. I don't know. It wasn't. Yeah, there's something wrong.
Yeah, I didn't know, like the way I saw it, I was like, maybe this is like a critique of the time that I just don't know about. Like maybe that was they were
I
trying
think
to
it's
like,
supposed to be a critique of African countries and how they're always in political turmoil. And there is a little bit of truth to that. And I'm not, I'm not qualified in like 90s, Central African policies. I know people that are, but it's not me. They're in law school. They know all about that. And so I know that there was a lot of political turmoil, but I also don't think it set the right. I think it was a little bit racist, just a little bit about against because I know that this was happening, but when you have like people who are like like Laura Linney's character was a part of the CIA, like I just feel like if a country knows someone like that is coming, they're not going to necessarily like they could, I don't
yeah,
know.
it, yeah,
Usually they
but
just kill like reporters and poor people. They don't go after unless like I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe I'm going a little too far.
no, no, I definitely agree with the killing part. Like that's usually how that would go. They
It
would,
would have been nice if they would have put one nice African in that. And it would have painted a better picture, I think, for the director if there was like one nice guy who like could be like I represent a positive side of my culture instead of everyone's just war torn and gambling. I don't know. I don't believe that's all of Africa.
oh yeah, I was going to say something about that, but then I've noticed, and I don't know if you know this, but every time I see like a Russian character, they're usually bad. So I kind of
Yeah,
like chucked it up to like, I can deal with this one time because I've seen it done
yeah, yeah.
millions of times with a Russian character.
Again, I
Um,
liked that Ernie Hudson was in charge and they're like, why are all the natives staring at us? And Ernie Hudson is like, they're amazed that a black man is telling white people what to do. Like I liked that line a lot. Like, but that again, that doesn't just I just wanted it to reflect better on who the people who were playing the natives, not the people who were the Americans.
yes, yes. You have any more notes before I ask anything else?
Um, why I think it would be a great movie if it was made in 2021. If you let this dialogue breathe, if you let these people, if you redid the dialogue and let it breathe, and then you did a CGI character of the gorilla, could have been amazing.
Yeah.
It would have
Oh
had
yeah.
almost like this Scooby Doo effect, like we all love these six people, and then we love Scooby Doo because he's a little bit fantastical. The character of Amy could have been more fun if they had just animated a very like completely realistic gorilla, but she's like drinking like a margarita and like smoking a cigarette. It didn't work when it was just a puppet doing it. It was just very dead in the eyes. So I just think it would have been cool to have CGI'd all the gorillas in the movie, and then it would have added so much more to this movie if it could have been like everyone would be reading the Congo, like you'd be the way that you're reading like sometimes like Harry Potter in school. You would have been reading the Congo in schools because you had a great cast, like the same great cast but like a better script and a little bit of CGI. Oh, this movie could have been outstanding.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. In the right hands, this is a gem. Um,
Yeah.
is- um, if they were to do this today, do you think they would try to stick with the same theme of the soundtrack, or do you think they would make it more American music?
Probably more American music, which would be unfortunate. But I don't know. I think it depends on who done it. Like if I wouldn't be happy with like Quentin Tarantino doing it.
You know what I
Like
mean? You know what I mean? N words being there.
yeah, like I kind of like that there are no N words in the movie. So like not Tarantino, but like Guillermo del Toro would have been pretty cool
Yeah.
because he understands horror and it's a little bit mythical. But he probably is the kind of guy who would be like, let's cast 100 guys in gorilla suits, and then they like. But I'm on team like let's just CGI all the people all the gorillas next to your real actors. Maybe
Exactly.
Ernie Hudson can come back and I can just like sweat all over myself. Like
I can't tell if you're being funny or like you're serious right now. Like
I'm
you
so
think,
serious. I think he's so
oh,
hot.
all right.
My
Okay.
God.
For the
That
longest time,
frog.
For the longest time, I really thought Ernie Hudson was LeVar Burton. Like I was like, man, I saw the Reading Rainbow guy on Ghostbusters, and I was just somebody finally like stopped me, and like I was like 22, and I was like, whoa, what did you say? Like LeVar? Yeah, the guy from Roots. Like they're not the same person. I was like, oh,
No.
yeah, yeah. Um, so
Who's
one
the
through
same
yeah,
thing?
yeah. I was like, I really thought I was like, yeah, he was a Ghostbuster. And it was like, no, he was not a Ghostbuster. It's a whole
You saying all
yeah,
black people look the same, Michael?
yeah. On that one, yes. On that one, definitely. I was just like, yeah, I'm not ashamed of that. On that one, I was like, whoa, come on now. I've seen Ghostbusters twice. I don't know why he's doing that voice, but yeah, he's on the yeah on that one. I'd be 100% with you on that one. Um, The only time I got in trouble about people looking the same, I really thought the guy from Crazy Rich Asians was Shang-Chi. And it was like, no, that's not Shang-Chi, Mike. But he was Steak Eyes.
What's
So
her
I,
name? I thought that Carrie Fisher and Jamie Lee Curtis like were the same person for a little bit.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? You know, like in the old Amityville horror, the 1970s one. She's like freckled and brown hair. I thought she was another. It's not important.
Nice.
My point is, I think a lot of white actresses look the same. So
I saw a meme about that a while back where it really did have like these four different actresses that like really like favored each other like heavily. Like I didn't
yeah, yeah. When
realize
they put all those pretty blonde girls together, you're like, oh my god,
yeah,
they're
like Glenn
clones.
Paltrow looks a lot like other actresses. I just
Like
wish I could
Nicole
remember.
Kidman,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they do. I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. It really, blew my mind. But
What I like about Meryl Streep, she never got a nose job. She kept her big nose, and I think it was a big claim to fame for her and made her stand out. And she wasn't like just another like waspy pretty girl. She's like I'm a big nose and I'm a little Jewy and I'm the best in the house. And she still
yeah,
is. Like
nice. It's like her and Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, 1 through 10, what would you give this movie?
I give it about a 3.5. I would say I liked the gorilla Amy. I liked that she smoked cigarettes and drank martinis and got her feelings hurt from other clicky gorillas. Like I could most relate to her. I could relate to the puppet gorilla more than the big actors of the time.
I'd be real with you, man. I'm giving this shit a 1. Like it's,
A 1 out of 10.
yeah, man.
Oh,
I,
nothing. Not even the pretty shots of the waterfalls.
I've been to Niagara a few times. This is the shit. It
Like,
I, and don't get me wrong, like I thank you for picking the movie. Like I enjoy every movie people pick. Don't think I'm talking shit about it because like I did, like you said, I enjoyed it because I was on something also. So it was like but like
yeah, I
it still
watched it
took
with
me.
Dennis and we made fun of it the whole time, and it was
Yes.
enjoyable because we got to make fun of it.
Well, good for you. My fiance was like, let me know. I'll come back upstairs. And I was like, oh shit.
You can watch it by myself.
Yeah,
I saw that Whitney reviewed Gone Girl, and I'm like, you picked a really good movie. Like
yeah.
that's a killer. It's a really good movie.
Yes. Man, to see Sir Patrick Harris, like I didn't know that guy was just had that much range. I just knew him from How I Met Your Mother. So to
Yeah,
see
he
him in
really
like
does. He
yeah,
really does. He's very sweet and tender in that movie, and just such like a beautiful. He's almost like the fallen starlet, where you're like, no, you're like, don't kill her. Like that's how you feel about him, because
yeah,
he just loves her. She's like, I just need your jizz.
yeah, yeah. Hell, she looks kind of like Gwyneth Patrick.
She
Well,
does.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and my last question, which may be a dumb question, but I ask all my guests: do you believe that this movie has become a part of pop culture?
Not even a little. No.
Maybe the
I
book
think
has.
only nerdy people will know about the book. The book is actually pretty well known. The book, it's something that we discussed in like college, in like my philosophy classes in college. It's often discussed with philosophy and just sort of the philosophy of the separation between like man and animal and stuff like that. Like it's a good, and the abuse of power. It has a lot of really cool themes. The book does, but that's it. And that's the thing. It sucks. It could have been like The Great Gatsby, where it was like this really cool movie that really sort of mostly honored the story, and it got to become part of mainstream culture. And it sucks that it could have been the Congo. The Congo could have been, I think almost all books can be turned into good movies. And it sucks that it didn't happen here, because I think it had a lot of important things to say that just got lost completely in how poorly it was done.
Nice. I totally agree.
It's like a little bit of a tragedy. Like you just see so much potential.
Yes. Like I said, thank you so much for being a guest. You have no idea how much I've enjoyed doing this podcast, enjoy having amazing guests like yourself. There's so many movies, even like this, that like I would have never watched. And like I said, it's not a good film, but I am still happy that I watched it. I'm glad I got to see some of my favorite actors. It's good to see them in their hits, and it's also good to see them in their misses. And
Yeah. Because even though, like Tim Curry is like that for me, and even though it's not Tim Curry's fault that he did poorly, I think that he did what he was asked to do. And it sort of gives you the perspective of if a movie's bad, it's not necessarily the fault. I don't think it was any of the actors' fault. I think they all worked with what they were given. And
yes.
what they were given was garbage.
Yes, and I think they knew too. They just every morning just like, you ready for y'all paycheck? I'm ready for my paycheck too.
Yeah.
And Bruce Campbell was just like, all right, y'all good luck.
He's such a dick in that movie. He's like, what about me? She's like, everyone's dead. And he's like, what about the diamond though? Like, the diamonds. Shit, I could have picked a weird movie. I could have picked like a Eraserhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever seen Eraserhead?
Oh yeah. You seen Biodome?
Yeah. Of course.
It being Halloween, one movie I've been telling everybody to watch if you get a chance, Once Bitten, is Jim Carrey's first leading role. He still has the Canadian accent a little bit, but it's good.
What movie is it?
Once Bitten. Is Jim
Bitten?
Yep. Is Jim Carrey's first leading role. He still has a little bit of the Canadian accent, so he's fighting it a little bit.
Yeah.
And he, and it's like in the middle of In Living Color or right before he got In Living Color. So the Canadian accent is still kind of strong, but it's it's a fun movie.
The earliest movie I saw him in was Earth Girls Are Easy with Gina Davis.
Yes.
And what's his name? Jim Carrey's in that movie as an alien, and so they shave him and he just looks like Jim Carrey, And have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Earth Girls Are Easy. I think he's pretty funny in it.
Oh yeah, I saw that movie. I remember renting that movie from a
the
local
library.
No, we had I grew up in a small town. We had like a local movie rental place.
Ours was called Family Video.
Nice. Mine was called. Oh wow, I actually don't remember the name. It closed down now because of Netflix. But I forgot.
Everything did.
Yeah. I believe it or not,
some. First... Huh? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying, believe it or not, some small towns still have Family Video.
Yeah, I think the one in Battle Creek, Michigan, where I lived, that might still be up. I don't know.
Yeah, we have one in Blythewood, South Carolina that's still open.
And
like people still go up there, I guess, for the nostalgia. I don't know.
My mom can't do Netflix. It makes sense. I've offered to help her set up her account, and she just has to watch cable. She just doesn't understand. Like if I put something on, it's fine. Like if we agree to watch something on my Netflix, but she'll never take the jump of streaming. It just does not. And she's like, I don't know, like she's worked pretty hard to keep up with technology, but like streaming does not compute up here for her.
You gotta do your mom like Aladdin, just be like, I can show you videos about commercials.
Right. Like I've shown her a lot of Netflix shows. Like we watched all of Gilmore Girls on my Netflix. Like
nice. One show I tried to get into was Weeds. I think that's the name of it, but kind of couldn't keep up with it. One show you should definitely check out on Netflix is You. You has been really good.
Yeah, all right. I watched some Sexy Beasts last night, which was
nice.
Like, have you seen Sexy Beasts?
Only the first season, I believe.
Oh, okay. Then you know what's up. It's really kind of silly.
Yeah. Cool. As a female comedian, do you ever get tired? And I've never experienced this, but I've always heard it from female comedians. Do you get? Has anybody ever came up to you and be like, "Hey, do you watch the show Miss shit Miss
Um, Mabel.
Yes, the Amazing Miss Mabel"? Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Has
I think
anybody?
that's cool. I'm glad I haven't, but that's not anything personal. I only have Netflix. I can only afford Netflix, and it's
Okay,
on what, like HBO or Hulu.
yeah, it's like a lot of
Um,
female comedians tell me it's like people like, yeah, yeah, I don't have to watch it because I'm a female comedian, but yeah, yeah,
I think it's still cool. I think it's still cool to do, anything where a woman's the leading actor is cool.
nice.
Um, I'd like to watch it. I really would. I just haven't. It's not a political statement or anything, But I like a lot of female comedy led stuff. I really got into Tuca and Birdie on Netflix, but it recently
Yes.
switched to Adult Swim. I haven't checked it out, but
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, because I think that it was like Lisa Hannawalt's team was demanding health care, and Netflix was like, we'll fire everyone and cancel your show instead. So
Damn,
yeah,
Netflix.
that's what you get for trying to. They're still an evil corporation. You forget. You're like, "Ugh, you think they'd be cool with unions? No one's cool with unions. That's why.
No.
That's why every worker, like, I'm about to fucking walk out. So like, yeah.
No, I agree with wow,
Or with a man who
that's
calls me stupid. So I'm really done with them.
yeah, man, you don't deserve that. That's just bad management. Like yeah, fuck your feelings, bro. You
It's
gotta
pitching
still
culture, and they're like, well, he's just an older man. I'm like, I don't care. Guess how many times I've insulted him? Fucking zero.
yeah, I never forget when I first became a CNA. We had this patient. My supervisor was a black woman, and we had this patient that kept calling everybody niggers. Uh, and we had to, and she's like, "You guys just got to get tougher skin." No, it's old people. It's old people. Yeah, I still get called nigger now.
No, you can get like sued. You can be charged for harassment. That's the workplace. That's what people don't understand. It's like, I'm not your friend. This is the
No,
workplace.
I'm talking about a
There are
patient.
worker rights. Huh?
Oh, no, it's no, it's a patient. It's a patient, ladies.
A patient was saying it. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, not
Mm.
no, no, my man,
I
no,
thought you
that's
meant the woman you worked under
no,
was like,
no. Oh no, she would just always be like, "You gotta have tougher skin. You just gotta have tougher skin." People are gonna say this. You gotta have tougher skin. I can say it. I can say it right now. And I was just like, "Hey, I didn't think this is the way management would try to work this out." Like, so
oh,
yeah,
management told you just have tougher skin about it.
yeah. Like I was just like, "Oh, all right."
Ah,
You're not even gonna try to be like, "Hey, man, we shouldn't." You're not even gonna say
I'd be
anything to the
like, we're gonna
patient.
let you die if you keep talking like that, Granny. It's like, well, do you want him to keep you alive or not? Like, you can
Yeah.
keep talking like that, and then he won't take care of you. We'll let you die. But I guess I know it's a bit extreme, but I'm like,
Oh
just
no. Oh no.
like people. My friend joked once. He was like, my grandma's last request before she died was that she didn't have a black doctor. And I just said, your grandma deserved to die if that's the last thing she said. I don't care if she was like a good person. If you're like I don't care what you look like. If you're gonna save my life, cool. Like if a Republican saved my life, I'd still be like, thank you for saving my life. But if you're like, I'd rather die than let a black doctor touch me, I'm like, I hope you fucking die. I hope you die a horrible death. I'm not
Oh
forgiving of old people for that shit because there's a lot of old people who are on the right side of history. There's a lot of old
yeah.
people who were feminists the whole time. They were fighting for social justice the whole time. So I don't think it's true the narrative of you're older. It's like your family feels bad for you, and that's why they're not trying to correct your behavior.
Exactly. Exactly. The last story I have about medical wise is I had this patient. This is he was a very very racist man. Like, but he was blunt with it. Like he was just like very blunt with his racism. It was never a moment where he was secretive. Like his family let us know. Like it was just we took care of him just like anybody else. But he smoked his whole life, so he had like this big hole in his neck. And
Yeah.
I never, he was just like nigger, because he sounded like T-Pain a little bit with the auto. And
Yeah.
one day I just looked at him, I was just like, this skee ball looking motherfucker. Like, I get
Yeah.
a jawbreaker and get
Like, this
5,000
guy, he
points.
thinks he's above you and he's breathing out of his throat. Like,
Yeah. But he would always say sweet tea,
I'm
and it was
guessing
sweet.
he was white.
Yes.
I just
He
want to say
always,
I'm sorry.
oh no, it's all good. It's all good.
Like,
I just love when he used to ask for sweet tea because for some reason it just sounded cool. Just sweet tea, and it just be the
yeah.
yeah. I don't know how
Ugh.
we got here. I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we got. Anyway, Congo. Uh, You said we both agreed that it was not a good film, but thank you again for reviewing it. Is there any excuse me, uh, the last question, the serious last question I have is, when you brought up the remake, who would you want to direct it?
I don't know. Okay, I have an answer. It's a little weird. Jordan Peele.
Cool, nice. I was thinking Sam Raimi, but that makes way more sense.
I just
Yeah,
think he's a good director. I think that, like, especially after seeing Get Out, you can have that tone with Congo, and you can actually make this a scary little thing.
yeah,
But
like
it's still, like, you can still, like, write characters that are realistic, play with the
yeah,
horror, like, there's a lot you can. I just think he's good too.
yeah.
I wish Candyman had better reviews. I really wanted to see it.
It. I ain't gonna spoil it for you. I would definitely say go see it for yourself. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Oh, really? Everyone told me it wasn't good. I saw the original. How does it
Oh
measure up
no,
to the?
oh no, it's not as good as the original at all. Not as good. Like I would say,
I
wait
was
till it
really
gets on
excited for them to
Netflix.
take the white woman perspective out. Like the original was a lot of a white woman just standing around and be like, well, they shouldn't be subjugated like that. And it's like, you're right, but why are you the main character? So I
Yeah,
thought I thought it would have helped the movie if they had taken all that out, and I guess it didn't.
yeah. It's but the cinematography is amazing. The director, she's great with cinematography. Storytelling, not that great at all. Um, but yeah, please tell them where they can follow you.
Huh?
Please tell them where they can follow you on social media.
Oh shit. Shit. I'm Gail Murray on Facebook. On Instagram, I am the Gail Gatsby Fights Back. No, I don't, I'm lacking in social media presence. Send me a smoke signal. Send me
Nice.
a telepathic message and I will get back to you shortly.
Nice. Guys, please follow Gail Murray. If she's in your city, please go see her. I promise you she'll keep you laughing. Thank you again for coming on. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and have an amazing day.